Now, I want to ask you about strategy, which you're very, very good at. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has made a rare trip to meet the Iranian supreme leader and the country's president. US intelligence says Moscow is on the lookout for combat drones to assist in its operations in Ukraine. But what is way more daunting is the fact that Iran is very close to having its own nuclear capability. I do hope this is not, a joint operation between Russia and Iran to get themselves nuclear capable.
Chris, as I said last week in a speech at the Henry Jackson Society in London, authoritarian powers are on the move. We saw in February Russia and China enter into a no-limits partnership just before Russia invaded Ukraine. And since that time, Russia has become increasingly isolated through sanctions, diplomatic, financial, or otherwise. And so it makes sense that Russia is indeed reaching out to other like powers, like authoritarian powers, such as Iran. The details of their strategic partnership, if they enter into one, we'll be watching very closely, but it is concerning, but not surprising given the way that Vladimir Putin has isolated himself in the community of nations.
Yes, you just wouldn't trust him given what has unfolded in Ukraine. He's also met the Turkish president to discuss peace in Syria. It's his first meeting with a NATO member since the war started in February. What's he up to, Andrew? What is he up to?
I think he's reaching out to as many people as possible. Turkey obviously shares important geography with Russia, so he needs to keep that relationship going.
So he's looking for friends, is he?
He was left waiting. He's looking for friends, definitely looking for friends. I did note, though, he was left waiting 50 seconds or so by the Turkish president, which was a long 50 seconds if you watch the clip on Twitter.
The European Union is hoping...
Vladimir Putin is used to waiting for people.
No, of course not. He would have been furious. The European Union, Andrew, is hoping to work with Australia and other countries to gather evidence of alleged war crimes in Ukraine. The initiative is asking for Australia to gather testimony from the refugees who fled Ukraine and came here. That shouldn't be a problem, and I'm so glad that we are turning our attention to what comes after this war.
Absolutely. We've contributed more than $280 million of direct assistance to Ukraine, whether it be in Bushmaster vehicles, anti-tank weapons and medical support. And so it only makes sense that we should step up and assist with investigations into war crimes led by the European Union. This is something that's very, very important. There's been more than 20,000 war crimes reported. And our task, if we believe in justice and fairness, is to help Ukraine and their partners build a case of evidence against those who've done such terrible things to the Ukrainian people.
Just very quickly, you're all having to go through anti-harassment, anti-discrimination training from now on in the federal parliament. Someone said to me today, in a corporate sense, we've been doing this for 15 years. So good the parliament's caught up.
Look, it's great. I believe that every single person should be treated with dignity and respect. That's something I was taught by my parents, something I've tried to do throughout my life, something that we practice in my office. So we welcome any training that affirms those principles, and we're happy to participate.
Great to have you participate in the program tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Chris. Always a pleasure.